Alrighty, we're live. Welcome everyone. We'll give just a second for people to log on, but we wanted to say hello and welcome to our live What is Coaching event. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time tonight. My name is Jamie Shepherd, and I am co-hosting with one of my oldest and dearest friends, Shanda. I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself so you can see her pretty face before we start sharing our slideshow. Go ahead, Shanda.
So it's on me now. Hi,
Yeah.
I am Shanda, and I'm super excited to work with you guys tonight on Why Not You, Why Not Now, our What is Coaching webinar. We're looking forward to seeing you.
And we picked this name for our webinar because Shanda is an old friend, and not everyone on our team are friends that we carried with us prior to coaching. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it often, as is most everything in life, right? It's about timing and being open to the right timing, to God's plan or to your destiny or whatever you believe in. And this last summer, I called Shanda up and we chatted, and we moved to a phone call and talked about this opportunity that was open up on my team, and about if this was the right time and if the stars had aligned. And it was just so happened it was at a perfect transition time for Shanda too. And I don't want to jumpstart her story because I think she probably will touch on that a little too. But it was just one of those things. I've been coaching for about 3.5 years, and or 3 years just about at that point. And she'd been, like I said, we were old friends, so she had seen this whole evolution, this whole journey, and it hadn't been until that right time for her to pull a trigger and say yes. So for those of you who are watching, this could be the first time you've ever considered coaching. It could be the 10th time you've considered it or have been asked or listened even to a presentation like this. But we just ask that you open your heart to what this could look like. I would say it's never perfect timing, because life never really gets boring. But if it's, if your soul, your heart is speaking to you about needing to switch something up, like the definition of insanity is, doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different outcome, right? And so that's where I was at. And I'll talk more about that when I give my little intro. But I just will just love and ask that you consider what this could look like as far as what it could do in your world, and come with questions and consideration. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started with a little PowerPoint that I created, that we created for you guys tonight, just to give you a little sense of who we are. I'm definitely a visual learner myself, and these are just some of the pictures from our team, Team Wild Rain, as we've kind of grown from coast to coast, all over North America over the last 3.5 years. And I'm going to go ahead and have Shanda introduce herself first, but I'm just so thrilled and thankful to get to share the time with her tonight, and for y'all to hear her story. She has always been one of the most inspirational, amazing women in my life, and an amazing presence, a friend I've always been very lucky to get to call a friend, and I now get to call her a teammate and a leader that I partner with in this business. Is just so, I feel so lucky all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and let Shanda take it away, and go ahead and tell us your story.
Okay. So honestly, with Jamie introducing me like that, my goodness, it practically makes me want to cry. I love this girl so much. I have to tell you guys that this might be touchy-feely tonight, because what we do is all about changing our lives and giving us an opportunity and making a better life for not only ourselves, but for everyone that we influence and touch, and also especially for our families and for our future legacy. And Jamie and I met, so I guess I will probably just start with that really quick, but we'll tell the story of the picture. If you saw the picture on our little cover photo that said, if you want to know about this picture, we'll tell a little bit about that at the very end. But I just wanted to say I met Jamie in the wilderness in Oregon about 16 years ago. I think that's right. She'll have to correct me if it's wrong. But and the time keeps going faster and faster, so those years add up. Jamie came to work in the wilderness where I was instructing and I was training instructors to work with troubled teenagers in Oregon. My background a little bit, I'm kind of a person who faces fears and jumps right in and dives in. When I was 14 years old, I started rappelling because I was afraid of heights. And then that led to a career for 4 years working with the Boy Scouts in a high adventure base, which led to working with troubled teenagers in the wilderness. I did that in Utah, Idaho, and Oregon for 10 years. And it's not really something that you can explain very well. But if you have ever been outside by yourself in the wilderness, looking at the stars or at the moon or a flower or trees or any natural thing, like even looking at animals, at horses, or looking at water rippling, if you've ever had that alone time and you have really resonated and connected to a deeper part of who you are, then that's what that whole 10 years for us was. And well, 10 years for me, and it started a journey for Jamie as well. But as I spent that time in Oregon with Jamie, I learned how to recognize the beauty in every single person that I met. And that has been part of the biggest part of my journey, actually, and what I have continued to try and do most of my life, because I think that most of us don't realize what our value is. And so I'm going to go on a little bit more. I wish I could explain wilderness better to you guys. You kind of have to be there, but if you have been there, if you are one of our old friends, we're happy to have you here tonight. If not, then let's go camping, because that's really the way to do it, is to sit around a fire and sing some songs together. I was born and raised in Utah. I come from a very big family. If you see down on the bottom right of the screen, you'll see that is a Thanksgiving gathering, a typical Thanksgiving gathering for my mother's side of the family. And that is the dodgeball team, just before we played a huge, massive game of dodgeball in the chapel, which we do regularly. We either play dodgeball or kickball, or softball, any kind of team sport that we can, depending on the time of year. So I came from a big family in Utah, and I spent 10 years in the wilderness. And then after that, I spent 4 years working with children with autism and children on the autism spectrum, which surprisingly, you actually use behavior therapy, which is the same kind of therapy I use with troubled teenagers. So after that, I fell in love with my husband when I was 20 years old. Then I left and dated and ran away for 7 or 8 years, and then came back and married him. When I was 29 years old, I married Rex. He's the guy in the top picture. And we have 3 children. We have twins that are 9 years old, boy and girl, Norma and Jaeger, and Georgia, our baby girl. Let's see, after that, right after I had the twins, actually, this is a big part of my story and why I came actually to coaching, is right after I had my twins, I was unable to go back to work because the cost of childcare was more expensive than what I earned working with children with autism. So I stayed home. I became a stay-at-home mom, and we built a business. And right at that time is when the recession hit. And we lost our business, we lost our home. We actually lost lots of family property and multiple businesses from years, and we lost our vehicles and our recreational vehicles, airplanes and motorcycles, different things that we had earned and built up. We lost everything. I got a knock on the door that said, "You'll need to be moved out of this house in 11 days. And my twins were just over 18 months old at that time. And so I took them to Utah to live with my mother for 1.5 years. And when we lived with my mom for that 1.5 years, the twins became 3 years old, and I needed to go back to work because we couldn't afford to move back in with my husband in Arizona, who had been living in Arizona the whole time. So I started doing human resources and payroll. I taught myself how to for my mother's cleaning company that's based out of Utah. And I have self-taught any kind of administrative work or anything that I've ever done. Really, I've been a self-learner. And at that time, I made just enough money, about $300 a month, to contribute to my husband to be able to move back to Arizona with my husband. And so we finally were able to move back. And when we got here, I still was working at home. And I realized I was sitting at my desk one day, which I do a lot. I was sitting at my desk and I don't know if you guys have ever had this feeling, but I had a voice that I heard in my ears, and I believe that that voice is divine, and that what it told me was that I had lost my dream. And what I realized over a short course of the next few minutes as I pondered what those words meant to me, I realized that I had been merely surviving for about 6 years to that time. And we were not making our bills every month. We were 30 days late, 60 days late, almost 90 days late, having the power turned off, or the phones turned off, or the utilities turned off, and internet, anything that could get turned off really got turned off. And it was scary, and it was frustrating. And I was tired of that. I was tired of not knowing when we would be able to pay the rent. And that voice spoke to me in my head and told me that I didn't have a dream anymore. And I spent the next 3 months just reconnecting with my dream. And that's something that I think as mothers, many of us actually put our life aside for a time to build a family. We commit ourselves to, not even just as mothers, but as wives, or even in relationships, we commit ourselves to another human being, and we help grow our lives together, and we put our own dreams on hold. And then in the face of crisis, if you faced any death of a loved one, or sickness in the family, or loss of a job, loss of employment, or divorce, or any kind of tragedy like that, you really deal with just that crisis for a time. And it came to the point where I realized my dream was lost, and I had to get a dream back, or else I was going to die spiritually. I was going to die emotionally. I was tired of waking up sad every day. So I had always been an entrepreneur, and I decided at that point in time that I needed to build a business. So within 3 days of getting my vision board up on the wall, and I'm a firm believer in making sure that you have a vision board, I got it up on the wall, and somebody called me and offered me to start my own business. And so at that point in time, I was broke. Seriously, broke as a joke, right? We didn't have any money. So I decided that my future and the future of my family and my children was more important than my belongings. And I went home and I did my research, and I told everybody that I was going to start my own business. And I put the message into the world I was going to do it, and I sold my favorite prized guitar, and I started my business. And to this day now, it's been about a 2.5 year journey so far. And to this day now, I can say that I am so much more happy, so much more fulfilled, so much more inspired. And I am a dreamer and a doer and a believer. And that's what coaching brings to me. And I just one thing that I can show you really quick is, this is my dream board, my current vision. And I'll just tell you a quick thing about that is, I put this up, and 2 days later, I wanted to fix my smile, and 2 days later, my dentist did free dental work for me. So that's like just a little sneaky, put a vision up, go for it, and you'll make it. All right, that's all for that now.
Okay, I think I caught your vision board. Do you want to show it one more time, just in case? I unshared the screen really fast, but I wasn't.
Oh, okay. I thought, let's see if I can.
Perfect.
So see the smiles on there, and 2 days later, my dentist was looking at me doing my teeth, and he goes, "Hey, I've been looking at that for the last half hour. Do you mind if I fix the front of your teeth for you?" I was like, "Go for it." Knock yourself out.
I love that this business too, for me, has taught me how to not only set goals and achieve them, but to dream, just to like put what I want and need out there, which is, it's funny how I went through most of my life not really setting goals. And thank you for sharing your story, Shanda. I love, it's, it was, it was like 15, 16 years ago that we were traipsing around in the Central Oregon high desert with kids, and that would be a fun call for another time to explain our life, our chapter as wilderness therapy instructors. But just seeing the growth and that spirit, and knowing that life is hard for everyone, and there's always going to be ups and downs, and just having that determination to thrive and be resilient, and making that choice consistently. I think that's a commonality that you and I share. I haven't always found my happy place. I have struggled in my ups and downs, and really fought to be the person that I am now, but I haven't ever been willing to settle. You know, I've recognized that I don't always make the right choice, but I'm not ever gonna, I've never resigned myself to a fate and to stay there. But a little bit about me, and I'm gonna just kind of blow through my intro here a little bit, but I started coaching about 3.5 years ago, like I said, as I was entering my 12th year as a school counselor. So after I finished college and worked wilderness therapy for a little over a year, I went back to grad school that really lit a fire to help kids. I could have easily been one of those kids that we were working with. Kind of the statistics would have indicated that would have been me, but it wasn't. I was really lucky to have a family and a strong kind of moral compass and a great youth group, a church group to guide me through my, through high school and college. But it really lit a fire just to know that I had those amazing advocates and mentors and coaches that cared about me. And so I went back to school to be a school counselor. And that was a career that, took up most of my life up until coaching joined the arsenal. And I loved it. But over time, it really ate at me. When you're working with people in need, with kids in need especially those with low income, often it takes more than it gives, and it leaves you, it really can challenge your ability to stay balanced and to take care of yourself. In the realm of public education, it was also a matter of my job as a school counselor was always on the chopping block every year when budget cuts. School counselors were the first ones to be considered. And I was always blessed to have a great, administrators to advocate for me. But it was always that fear, like, what if, educators don't get paid all that much, if you've heard. But also, so I always had a second job or a third job or a fourth job. I was always working hard just to keep those bills paid as much as I could and to be able to have a little bit of freedom. I didn't have kids. I've never been married. I'm engaged now to my best friend and soulmate, Jamie. So it's, Jamie squared, but that's him there in some of these pictures. And when coaching entered my life, I was at a breaking point myself. I had kind of had that, was entering a new school year, and I broke down, just feeling exhausted, like the weight of that routine of working 60, 70 hours a week for my school and my kids, working in nights and weekends as a waitress up until like 3 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and also teaching kids yoga. I just really wasn't doing a good job taking care of myself, but I also kind of felt like I was getting more and more in this hole. And really, just as I was self-reflecting, it was a sense of, this isn't really what I pictured my life to be. So I knew that something had to change because I was increasingly unhappy. I was sick all the time because I was just exhausted, and I felt a little broken. I felt really more despondent than anything, and that's not who I've ever been. I've always been kind of bubbly, that Pollyanna personality, and I just really started feeling like I had lost my love for life and my fight for life. So when this popped into my newsfeed, I was intrigued. I was dubious, a little cautious. But I knew something had to give, and I knew that I'd always felt like I was meant for something bigger. I love fitness and health and yoga, helping people, and I thought it would be such a great extension of what I was doing. And my initial goal was to simply release waiting tables as a thing I needed to make ends meet. I actually enjoy waiting tables because I'm a people person, but I didn't want to have that income just to keep bills paid. And what happened in the last 3 years was so unexpected. I fell in love with this opportunity. I fell in love with the chance to help people and to see my own team of coaches grow and thrive, and to bring some of my best friends into this world with me, to link arms and be empowered alongside one another. And some of the most amazing friends I've ever could have asked for to have come into my life thanks to this business. I was able to retire from school counseling about 9 months into coaching, which again wasn't my initial goal, but as I saw the potential and that it was completely in my control based off of how much I worked and how many people I helped, It just was really motivating to keep going and keep dreaming bigger and bigger. I moved to San Diego shortly after retiring from education, and where I met Jamie. And we have been since lived in Florida and now back in Oregon with our dogs and our cat, Abby, Rain, and Barnaby, who are all rescues and are getting married this spring. But and with that, I was able to shift my goals and my dream to include starting a family, and I've retired Jamie from his full-time job so he can pursue his lifelong dream of being an Olympian. He's a para triathlete, and just really we just kind of have created this life by design. And really our goals, like Shanda and I's goals and all the goals of the coaches on the team, we all have different visions and different things we want to pursue, different paces at which we grow. And that's kind of one of the most beautiful things about this gig is that you can really make this fit your life, your priorities, your vision, your pace. And that's really what, as a team, we try to empower and inspire one another to own this opportunity with what it could be for ourselves, and just to go for it, with reckless abandon. We get to partner with this amazing company called Beachbody, Team Beachbody. I initially had this terrible knee-jerk reaction with when I learned the name of the company. I thought, oh, this is not what this crunchy girl Jamie hippie from Oregon wants to, the message I want to promote is not about having a beach body. But what I learned after investigating a little bit, instead of just prejudging, like Shanda said, looking for the good in everyone, I opened my mind, I asked questions, I talked to people who are part of this company, and found that it was such an amazing company with really a core mission of helping people live healthy and fulfilling lives, of empowering people to live healthy and fulfilling lives. And that is what we do. They've created these amazing products. I'm sure you've recognized a lot of these. P90X was my initial introduction to Beachbody. Years before I started, I did a pirated copy in my best friend's garage. And I loved it, but I didn't own it. It was theirs, and so but I knew that the programs work. We continue to evolve and add programming and nutrition products to our library, to our catalog of tools with which we get to help people. And 3 new programs will be launched this year. But the takeaway for you is that there is a tool, there's a program, an item, a nutrition product, a fitness product that is going to impact anyone. So any person any age, any demographic, any ability level, any size, any walk of life, there are options for them. So we don't have this niche market, this small demographic of people that we can help. Fitness and health as an industry is never going to go away. It's never trending or untrending. And really there's no one that can't be helped with this. So we can help families, couples, women, even, youth. There's no end to the options there. One of the products that is the most transformative and one of our favorites, we wanted to spend a little extra time talking about that tonight, is Shakeology. And Shanda, I was hoping that maybe you could talk a little bit about Shakeology with us.
Totally, I would love that. Okay, so I have to tell you guys, there's kind of a funny story about me and Shakeology. My husband found Shakeology 2 years before I found Shakeology. And he tried it, and he did a 21-day program, and he actually totally fell in love with it. And I tried it as well, and I started joking about it and calling it the brownie shake and the Cadillac shake. And that is affectionately how we call Shakeology in our home now, the brownie shake or the Cadillac shake. But I told him that it was too expensive. And so I spent 2 years looking for a shake. I assumed that Shakeology was just a protein shake. I didn't learn anything about it at the time. I assumed that it was just a healthy breakfast choice. But since coming to Beachbody, I have learned so much about this amazing drink. And I mean, this thing has 70 superfoods, 18 grams of protein, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes, vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, antioxidants, superfruits. I mean, this is not just a protein shake, which is what I thought when I told him he could no longer use it. So I actually told my husband he was not allowed to drink Shakeology for about 2 years, while I wasted all of that time looking for a less expensive, healthier option. And honestly, I have tried them all. I went to the healthy stores. I also went to Costco. I also went to the normal grocery stores. And I pretty much started from the left and went to the right. And anything that looked interesting and was gluten-free, because I have celiac disease, so there's a lot of shakes that I can't have. And even some that say that they're gluten-free still really make me very sick. So you have to be careful when you have food issues and autoimmune issues. But this one in particular tastes amazing and helped my husband lose 19 pounds in 21 days, his first time he ever did the 21-day fix. So I don't know why I didn't trust and believe the love of my life that this was the best shake and that we should invest in it, but probably because I was so afraid about money. But what I realized in the long run was that we actually saved a lot of money, because about 2 months, I think, into my drinking Shakeology every day, I looked in my drawer and realized that I was a candy stasher and that I had been binging on lots of junk food and that I had it stashed all around my home and that I had not eaten it for like a month. And the reason was because Shakeology had totally changed my body and it had eliminated my cravings completely. If I drink a Shakeology in the morning, I don't have any junk food cravings the whole rest of the day. And if I do want some chocolate, though, I have to admit that I do have a dark chocolate sweet tooth, and that is something that I have occasionally. But the chocolate shake really fills that need. And if I am still feeling like I need something sweet at the end of the day, I'll have a half a shake at bedtime that I'll split with my husband, and we feel pretty much like we're getting dessert. So it's a win-win situation for us. There are so many recipes. There's a whole website that is just about Shakeology recipes. There's everything from the shakes that you drink to cookies that you can make and protein bites that you can make and these awesome no-bake brownies that Jamie turned me on to, that you just mix a couple of ingredients, throw them in the fridge, and snack on them whenever you want. Shakeology comes in 7 flavors, so that's super awesome. There's pretty much a flavor for everybody. There's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, greenberry, cafe latte, which in my olden days would have been like the golden word for me, but I'm a non-coffee drinker now. Shakeology helps me to have the energy that I need, and it helps me with fighting my cravings and sticking to a meal plan. So ultimately, it gave me the ability to lose weight for the first time in my life in a healthy way. I think one of my favorite things about Shakeology is there was a quote by Dr. Dale Christensen, and he said, essentially, if you're comparing fast food and Shakeology or any of your vices that you have that you're using right now to fill that need for nutrition, your body thinks that you need nutrition and you're feeding it these empty calories. If you compare fast food to Shakeology, Shakeology is half the cost with 10 times the nutrition. And Shakeology is the nutrition piece that we offer to our clients in the Beachbody program. So next we'll go on. Perfect. You're so good at that. Thanks, Jamie. So next, I'd like to talk to you about one of the reasons why I chose Beachbody was because I had originally started with another business, and that business focused on skincare. But that business they launched their own fitness program. And I knew, because of my husband's experience, that any other program out there was not going to have what Beachbody had. And just like Jamie, I actually didn't like the name Beachbody. I'm not really into that because I too am kind of a crunchy granola gal, as my husband would say. But what I did know was that Beachbody had fitness. They have, I think, over 600 different workouts. So if you can't find something that you're interested in there, then you're looking for a reason not to find the fitness, because they've got the world-class fitness, and they have nutrition. So they have eating plans, meal plans. They teach you exactly how to do your portions and how to make your own food, so you're not reliant on buying food from a company. And then they also have the peer support, which they are the only company out there that really has this nailed down. With their challenge groups and their coaching, they really give you an opportunity to be successful by being accountable to other people and by sharing your journey, sharing your ups and downs and your wins and your challenges as you work together. So the other thing, it's a 4-part program. The 4th pillar is rewards. And I think that human beings were motivated by 2 things, pain and pleasure. And when you are trying to lose weight, sometimes you're trying to lose weight or get healthy because of the pains that you've had that inspire you to do that. But to keep that willpower and that energy and that drive going, it helps to have a little carrot at the end. And so part of Beachbody, it's really exciting, the challenge groups that we run, just getting to know other people on the same journey is a reward in itself. But we oftentimes have little prizes inside of there, gift cards or healthy prizes. And then Beachbody itself has a challenge where once a month they pay somebody $1,000 if they win the health challenge that they have. And then they also do a $25,000 award and $100,000 grand prize every year for these life-altering results. When you look at these pictures, it's shocking to see people's before and after pictures, but what these pictures don't always convey is the emotions associated with this. So these transformations that you're looking at right now, they are not simply they're not simply a physical transformation. They are a emotional transformation. They are a spiritual transformation. They are somebody being able to wear clothes that they haven't fit into 10 years. I've had a pair of jeans in my closet, and I started my 21-day fix, and I put the jeans on at the end of the fix, and my mother-in-law said, "Oh, are those your jeans? I've never seen you wear them before." And my husband said, "Where did you get those?" And they were my jeans from 10 years ago, and I saved them. And I know that you've got a pair of jeans like that in your closet. I think we all do. But if you look at these pictures, you'll see, these are human beings, men and women, who are able to wear a t-shirt now and show the fat of their arms. They're able to wear a swimsuit or put a dress on. They're able to have confidence. They're able to have energy and happiness. And just the exercising alone gives you so much happiness. I can't even explain the difference. My mother, when we started this program, she had been battling depression off and on for years and had tried several things to recover from it. And honestly, the biggest difference for her is working out 5 days a week and drinking a shake every day. And by doing that, she has totally changed her hope in life. And that's what it did for me too. It gave me my dream back. It gave me a sense of hope, and it took away my hopelessness. So I'm a firm believer that this is not only about your physical transformation. These life-altering results are everything. They're your emotional and spiritual transformation as well. Jamie, you want to talk a little bit about your testimony?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's such a great point to make, because it really is, like, my journey hasn't really been about the physical transformation. I have lost weight and kept it off by being able to work a little smarter rather than harder. I used to spend hours at the gym. But really the transformation of nourishing my body, of prioritizing my health, of learning how to eat healthy. I was like a very highly skilled chips and salsa for dinner maker prior to coaching. But the women and men I've gotten to work with too that have also taken these steps, it's really truly what's happening emotionally and mentally, having the confidence, having the empowerment, the success of being in control of our destiny, literally changing people's medical diagnoses, saving their life in many cases, like in terms of just reversing pre-diabetes, getting off meds, staying cancer free, but also just the emotional mental health that comes from being healthy and exercising and not polluting our body full of toxic junk, and for me, that's really been transformative in how I feel about myself and the future and just my goals and my ability to dream, and just feeling well and happy and energetic, which for so long I didn't feel any of those things. And it's something so simple, but if you don't feel good for such a long time, it weighs at your emotional mental health too. So it's just giving yourself a chance to kind of win, and as coaches, our lives, our testimonies, we are leading by example. We're not asking anyone to do anything we're not. We're not asking anybody to move a mountain that we're not also moving. It's just showing up and doing our best. We're not perfect. I fall flat on my face all the time. I did a live event last night, and I did this great live kickoff call for 10 minutes and realized I was not even in the right event. So nobody even saw it. Little small, I miss workouts. I don't give up my all. We're not perfect, but we just learn to keep going and do our best. And we share community, we share the fitness, we share the changes that are going through, we share the growth that we're pouring into our heart and soul, we share what the opportunity is doing for us financially, for our families, and so much more. And just knowing that we're just getting started as a company is so exciting to me. We are only in North America right now, not even Mexico, just US and Canada. We know for sure we're going to a third international market in the spring because the company's told us. I'm pretty sure it's one of these three. It could be Mexico, not totally sure, but regardless, it shows me that there are billions of people that also, no matter what country you're in, you need to be healthy. You need to take care of yourself. So there's really an unlimited of possibilities for us as entrepreneurs, as coaches. And that is exciting to me. I know that a lot of folks have fears, concerns, bias, judgment. I know I did. I know Shanda did prior to coming into coaching. And I just wanted to address some of those because they're normal to have. They're expected. If you don't have at least one of the things on this list going through your mind and your heart, I would probably call bull. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really normal. And there's another perspective, just like anything. And we wanted to share kind of some of the reality to these fears, because fear is what keeps us captive in life, right? Fear is what keeps us safe, tucked away in our comfort zones, and often unhappy, because growth is where our happiness lies, our destiny lies, is when we're growing. You know, if you're not green and growing, you're ripe and rotting. John Addison said once in a leadership presentation to us. But Shanda, what of these stick out to you the most, that as being kind of what strikes you as being what you felt before you embarked on this business?
Well, it's funny because really starting any kind of business or any big change in your life, not only the business aspect, but the fitness aspect, everybody has lots of fears. I mean, there's a laundry list of them. I had many of these fears as well as other ones that aren't even on here. So if you don't see one of your fears, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that we didn't have it or somebody else didn't have it. These are just a couple of typical ones that we face. But briefly, no one will want to join me. I was a little bit stressed because Beachbody is so established. It's such a great program. There's so many people doing it. I thought, gosh, why would anybody pick me to be their coach? And that really leads into and kind of contributed to and came from, I'm not at my goal weight. I'm not in shape. And it's funny because Jamie, when she first contacted me and said, do you want to be a fitness coach? Well, she didn't say it like that, but that's what I heard in my ears, right? When she said, do you want to be a fitness coach? I was like, are you kidding me? I said, well, for one thing, I said, I'm pretty fit. That's what I told her, which is kind of funny because all I did was I coached my children in baseball. And that means that I went outside 3 times a week for an hour and a half with my kids and stood around and told kids how to play ball and hit a couple of balls to them and ran the bases once or twice. And I called that fit. But I had really relinquished myself to a point where I imagined I would be in the shape that I was in for the rest of my life, that I would be a size 12, that I would be a size 12, or that I would keep incrementally growing slowly, but it would be all right with me that I would keep gaining weight. And that I would be just about have as much energy as I had and have as much fitness and ability to participate in sports as I had. And, you know, I just assumed that was life and that was who I was. And because of that, when Jamie was like, hey, do you want to be a coach? And I was like, well, gosh, I'm as fit as I want to be. I don't even have a goal. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be the rest of my life. I couldn't even comprehend anybody wanting to follow me. So that was another part of my dream that had died, was I didn't even have any self-care. I didn't have self-love. So that was something that I had to overcome. And funny enough, by just choosing to build a business because I was desperate to build a business. And part of that meant that I had to press play every day. I actually began getting in shape and having fitness goals and having fitness desires and having energy and being excited about what my body can do again. It's totally different. The first time that I jogged in place, I could barely get my feet off the ground. And my mom and I laughed so hard about the first video we did of the two of us together doing sit-ups because we hardly got our heads off the ground, let alone our shoulders. And as we look at the progress that we've made, it's just shocking to see the difference. And to share that with people all along the the challenges and the weaknesses that I have has actually been something that has attracted my clients and my customers to me, that I don't have to be in my goal weight and shape to be able to teach people and to be able to start this journey. The other huge thing for me was I can't afford it. And I mentioned that a little bit. You guys know I came from a very desperate, deep, dark place in the recession, a place of total hopelessness and feeling of being lost and not seeing a way out. And like I said, shortly, I said that I came home, I decided I wanted to start a business. I told everybody that I was going to do it. And I sold my most prized possession, which was my blue guitar my blue Ibanez, was gorgeous, that I had had from the time I was 20 years old. And I had taken it all over the States with me, playing songs around campfires. And it had some of my greatest memories. But when I made that transition, that was not the only thing I sold to start my business. I actually went through my whole personal belongings and gutted it and said, I care more about my future than I care about my past. And what I realized was I couldn't afford to miss the opportunity. So it wasn't just the business that I couldn't afford to miss the opportunity. It was the health, and it was the wellness, it was the emotional, the spiritual. All of these gifts that I've been given were so important, and I didn't even know that I was missing in my life. And really, when I look back now, my husband said, Shanda, you have 4 months to turn a profit, to earn back your investment in this business and to turn a profit. And honestly, within the first month, I had easily earned back my investment and made a profit within the first month. And that was simply by helping 3 other friends do exactly what I'm doing. Press play, drink a shake, and share this lifestyle with other people. That was it. That was all it took for me, for my fears.
Thank you for sharing that. Really, this business is so simple. That really is the formula. That really is the formula. You just gave the secret away. It's just, it's simple. It takes hard work because it's a business that you have to grow and build and give time and prioritize a little bit. But it's not a hard, complicated, mysterious formula. You know, for me, I'm looking at this list. You know, I've never really shared this publicly, but I had a pretty domineering, I'll go ahead and say, pretty abusive dad who weakness was not really tolerated. I grew up in the Marine Corps. So for me, anytime I felt myself have fears around something or felt paralyzed or controlled by a fear or feeling of being scared of something, I'll quickly find myself working to not feel that way. Like I've always, you know, I went skydiving because I was scared of heights. I started rock climbing because I was afraid of, you know, of falling and hurting myself. You know, I've always tackled those, but those emotional fears, I definitely had some bias, some assumptions I had made about coaching, about network marketing, I would say. You know, what would all others think of me? I knew people that had been like successful in network marketing, but I knew that there was a possibility. So, but I was a little nervous to put myself out there, of what other people, of the possibility of being judged. I got over that pretty quickly because I was like, well, they're not paying my bills. They want to come pay the late fee or the overdraft fee on my checking account. Awesome. And I really didn't think I had the time because I was working 3 jobs at the time. But I also knew that time is fleeting and that I wasn't guaranteed another year, you know, and I had to make the most of today. So I found the pockets of time in between that I could, and I gave it what I had, and that's freed up more time. I also not on this list was I'm not very social media savvy. I wasn't scared to post on Facebook. I just didn't really like get social media. I was good at Facebook stalking. I didn't have an Instagram. I didn't know how to make a collage. I Googled that after I started coaching. I'd never probably ever taken a selfie. So you just start with where you're at. And I just did. I started with where I was at. I would go back and I looked 3.5 years ago at my social media posts. And I'm like, oh, wow, Jamie, you've grown so far. But it worked. And I was excited and I was positive and I was putting myself out there. And that's really all that matters, you know, because it connects people to you. No matter if you're at the start of your journey, if you're at your goal weight, it's just about sharing who you are. And that is really what leads us into this next kind of quick slide that we'll go over really quickly, because a lot of people assume a coach is or isn't a certain way. So, Shanda, do you want to kind of tackle this one really quick for us?
Yeah, this is going to be super quick because honestly, we've gone over most of it. What you need to know is a coach doesn't have to be at their perfect health and weight, which we talked about. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, it's better to be real. People want you to be real. You don't have to be social media savvy, which Jamie just mentioned. You don't have to be an extrovert, which she just mentioned. You don't have to be a business professional. I personally did not finish college, did not work in a corporate job, and did not feel like never did any retail in my life, and have felt very successful on the business side of this. Also, you don't have to be a fitness or nutrition expert. And like I said, my idea of fitness was to play ball a couple of times a week with my kids. And you don't have to be experienced in sales. I had no experience in that. A coach should be, however, improving and developing themselves. And there's a pillar of our company that says that you need to work on your personal development every day. And that's not just your personal development, reading a book. That's your spiritual, physical, emotional, professional, and your relational. As you build this business, it's all about relationships. So you have to work on your health. And I know you guys can read all these, so I'll just touch bases on happy to help others, which is something I think that if you find joy in that, then coaching is right for you. Being real and honest. One of my favorite quotes is, beauty is being in harmony with what you are. So if you can get in touch with who you are and what you are, and you're willing to push and grow, then you're ready to be a coach. Why choose coaching? This is really exciting to me. And one of the reasons I did it was because I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't have any opportunity to go back to work. I couldn't find a 9 to 5. I couldn't find a 9 to 3. I needed to get my kids to school. I needed to make breakfast. I needed to also be able to help pay the bills though. So this, you can work at your own pace, be your own boss, set your own hours. And one of my personal favorites is that when I had worked in wilderness therapy for 10 years, I got to the point where they were not going to be able to pay me any more money unless I went back to school for 4 years. And I didn't have 4 years to waste on school. So I had to find things that I could teach myself and learn myself to be able to contribute to my family. So the cost to start this business is less than $200. And if you are an entrepreneur person and you're looking at starting your own business, if you've ever looked at it, the cost of a franchise, they're like $300,000. So you can start a business for less than $200. You don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to you don't have to develop any products. You don't have to do any testing. You don't have to have any laboratories. You don't have to have a garage full of equipment or a storefront. You don't have to figure out all of the employment taxes that are associated with running a business. There's so many things that Beachbody does for you. All you have to do is live the health and fitness life and share it with other people and have fun. So choosing coaching to me really was a no-brainer once I tried it out. And if you're nervous about it, give it a try. Try it out for 30 days. Try it out for 60 days. I believe that if you start it and you taste it, you'll love it so much that you will quickly, within a week, say, I'm going to be here in a year. I'm going to be here in 4 years. Choosing coaching was the next step in my life to be able to give my family the opportunity that I could find nowhere else.
Me too. And it was something I didn't even know I needed. It wasn't even something I was definitely aware that I was missing. But every day I feel, and it's taught me to look for the gratitude. It's taught me to be grateful and to give thanks every day. And the more I do that, the more abundance and things to be grateful come into the life. But what you can expect from our team, so it's kind of like at that point of the presentation, like, why us? Why pick us? Why pick the coach that invited you here? Why pick Team Aldrain as your home? We are a leading team of the company. I'm so proud to be able to say that about Team Aldrain. We ended last year at actually number 38 in the entire company, which ended the year at around 450,000 teams. That's amazing. We're a 3-time elite team, which is a title only 200 teams, actually it was 197 teams were able to claim that title of being an elite team last year. That is what that means. All you need to know is that means that we are a group of leaders. It's not just something I earn alone. I would not earn that title or that rank if it weren't for successful coaches alongside me in the team with us. So it's really about building up one another and impacting as many people as we can collectively. It represents thousands of people taking the first step in their own health and fitness. What you'll find in our team is that we are a very service minded and driven team. We really strive to pay it forward, to do volunteering, to give generously, no strings attached, of our knowledge, of our hearts, of our support. We are business minded too, so we've got a lot of training, mentorship, leadership training, business growth modules. I think it's a lot of educators on our team. You know, your vibe attracts your tribe. So we've got a lot of helping professionals and teachers on our team. So we have a lot of different trainings available to grow in the areas you want to grow. Every person sets their own goals in their own direction, points their ship, you know, and then we have the tools to get to that destination. We do a lot of virtual stuff like webinars and virtual meetings, FaceTime type calls, to connect and build those relationships and grow. I know for me, I love the in-person stuff, and we do a lot of local growth. Shanda does that in Arizona. I've done it everywhere I've lived with this business. A lot of the leaders, we create opportunities for the local coaches in our area to get together, go hiking, volunteer, have margarita night, you know, do workout together, whatever, or coffee, or just hang out with our kids, go, you know, just do fun bonding things. We also have a lot of retreats. We're about to go to a big conference in Vegas. We have an event in the Dominican Republic this year and in New Orleans. You're not required to travel, but a lot of us love it and look forward to that and spending time together. And then we celebrate. We celebrate a lot. I love to feel good about recognizing one another and looking for those wins and celebrating friendship and the bond that we have. And really, it's just, I have leaders of the company come to me all the time, which fills my heart, asking, like, what do you do to create such a great team bond? Your team obviously is such a great team culture. What do you do to cultivate that? And it's really just that we all prioritize that and put that out there. The company rewards us in so many ways. We already touched on the financial freedom, the opportunity to earn financial bonuses, just the fulfillment of changing someone's life. Trips, recognition, walking across the stage. I never thought that would be something on my bucket list that I would want to do, and feeling like a celebrity, and you know, free clothes, personal development, growth. I could take the skills I've learned as an entrepreneur here, and I know that I could create a business anywhere now. Entrepreneur was not a word that I aspired to identify myself with because it seemed very foreign and scary. I've never taken a business class in my life. And now I have all these networking and social media and small business skills, and all of those are just rewards. And everyone's going to identify with something different, but there's really no end to what this can do. I do want to touch a little bit on money really fast, only because it's something that we all have to lean into. We all have to earn money, and you're probably listening and considering this not because you want to volunteer and be in fitness. You will want to know truly if there's a chance to earn an income here. And I want to say that at every stage of my business, I started at the end of August, beginning of September in 2013. Every paycheck, we get paid weekly. So these are weekly pay income numbers that you see here. Every paycheck I've ever gotten has mattered and served my needs and been a blessing. In the beginning, it was earning back my initial investment for my challenge pack. It was paying my electricity bill. It was getting caught up. It was starting to build a savings account. It was the ability to move and retire at one point. And then last year, it was when my wife shifted. It was like paying rent for 3 months at a time, retiring Jamie from his job, going to Spain on a trip on a whim just because we have the time and the freedom, you know, paying taxes. It was just knowing the exhaling that stress and that worry of, oh my gosh, where's the money going to come from this? It's that comfort there. Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of income or success from the coach opportunity. Each coach's income does depend on his or her own efforts, diligence, and skill. Okay, I have to say that disclaimer there since I'm sharing my income here, and feels a little vulnerable to share that. And that was a year ago. It's grown since then. It compounds and grows monthly. But the statement of independent coach earnings is in our coach online office. The link is here at the bottom of the slide if you want to screenshot that and check it out later and learn more, or just message the coach that invited you if you want to look at the compensation plan. It's Googleable. But I would encourage you to consider bigger, dream bigger as what financial freedom could look like for you. It's not all about money. It's not about getting rich quick. This took 3 years to grow. But now it's paying for our wedding in cash. we're looking at building a home and buying, just starting a family, things like that, which feels really nice and exciting to be able to do. All right, Shanna, do you want to cover these 3 different coach options, or do you want me to keep going?
Yep, I can do it. So there are 3 different coach options, and we're just going to give it to you super quick because we know that you can read, and we're excited that you've been here with us. The number 1 option is to be a VIP member or a discount coach, and that way you get 25% off on all of your products, and you get 25% commission. And if you share this opportunity with 3 people ever, then you've already covered your investment. Your number 2 option is to be a part-time or a hobby coach. I started this business part-time because I have another part-time job and I raise my family. But my goal is to become a number 3 business builder all-in coach. And just like Jamie recently retired, her fiance, that is my greatest desire, is to retire myself from my regular job, and also those members that are coaches on my team that are working to build their own business so that we can have financial freedom. Next, when you do that, there's a couple of options to get into being either the hobby coach or the part-time or the business builder or the discount coach. And the first option is the Showcase Challenge Pack. It's $295. You get 3 different programs. You get your 30 days of Shakeology. You get a sampler and totes and welcome guides, and 30 days of on-demand Beachbody On Demand, where you can digitally stream all of the free member library. And then the second option is a challenge pack, which is $140 to $205. And this is one of the options that I often promote anyone who just wants to have the lifestyle in general. This is your best way, your least expensive way to start and get your 30 days of Shakeology, get a fitness program, which most oftentimes comes with a meal plan and containers, and then 30 days of Beachbody On Demand so you can learn all about our streaming program. And with that one, you get your coach enrollment fee waived. The other option is the Shakeology Home Direct, which would mean that you sign up to get your Shakeology for $99 a month, and you pay $39.95 for the coach enrollment fee. There is one other very, very exciting option that just launched in January. And I'm serious, this is like, they never, you guys didn't have this, right, Jamie? I mean, this is exciting and new and never before available until now, right?
Yep. And I would add, I would then like X the one on the left there, the Showcase, because of this. Like, this is the only thing I'm getting. And the cost, all of these options are the same as a customer, our client sign up with. So you're getting something dollar for dollar to start up to coach with the money back guarantee. But I'm actually just trying to really funnel this option that I'll let you talk about. But because it like blows my mind still that we're keeping it. It was supposed to be just through the end of the month, and now it's forever, which is great.
Oh, it is. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the all access, or do you want me to?
You can. Sorry, I cut you off.
Nope, that's all right. This is super exciting. What I was going to say is this gives you an opportunity. Like I said earlier, we've got like 627 different workout programs, over $6,000 worth of fitness content. And right here, you're going to get it for $199. You pay that once, and that's going to give you access for a whole year. So you get, without ever having to pay again. With the other one, if you look back, you'll see that you pay quarterly. You pay $39.95 for, we'll see that actually on the next screen, I think. But for this one, you pay $100 for the whole time, and you get the whole access to every program that has ever been made, as well as the next 3 programs, any new releases of this year. You get your meal plan, you get your containers, you get your 30 days of Shakeology, and you get a coach and a group to help you meet your goals. You get us, which is super exciting because we can teach you everything we've learned in this fitness journey. The cost of coaching are, you can do there's a business service fee. It's $15.95 a month. And you can see all the things it covers right there. The Coach Online Office, the product warehousing, product development, technical support, marketing, customer service. And the club membership is billed once every 3 months for $39.95. And that gives you the all on-demand streaming for all of your workout programs, the member library, unless you choose instead to do what we just talked about, the $199 option, where you get all access. With the club membership, you actually only get the program that you buy. Say you buy 21 Day Fix, you get that one, and you get the free member library, which doesn't have any of the new releases from last year or this coming year. And then the really exciting thing about Beachbody, they love to get back They are all about changing lives. For free, if you are in the military, you get for free being active duty or a spouse or a veteran or a reservist or honorably discharged. You don't have to pay that business service fee.
Yeah.
So
I want to reiterate really quick. So this option, okay, is the one thing you pay for your Shakeology monthly, ongoing, and you would pay that $16 a month fee unless you're military, pay monthly. But this middle column you would not pay. So I get a lot of questions. And this is that club membership, because of this new all access, pay for a year at once, which we don't often do. We don't usually buy our groceries in bulk up front. So that's why some people will like kind of have to swallow the cost initially. But we don't buy a month of meals at once. With Shakeology we do, and with the all access, you're paying for a year of your club membership in that $199. So this quarterly fee would only be if you chose the traditional challenge pack of like just the 2096 or just quarter force or just 225, like Shannon mentioned. So we're just about to wrap up. You can screenshot this picture. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I just wanted you to know we get a lot of questions like, okay, well, what happens when I sign up? How do I get started? How am I going to know what to do and what to say and what to post about? And this is just a screenshot of a glimpse of your first month and a half. Your first few months will be really close mentorship with whoever sponsored you, with the team. We have a new coach training, small group style that we often do. And you'll get walked through. You get a lot of one-on-one time with your upline. I do weekly calls, monthly calls for the team too. You'll have access to all the tools that we've created to be such a leading elite team. And if depending on your pace and your goals, you may not fit into this flow chart. We will customize that and make it so that you always have the support that you need at your pace. Your race, your pace. Our goal is that in a year, like Sheena said, we have fully believe that if you once you get into this world with us, you kind of get a taste. You can see that you're going to be part of this for a long haul. So our goal is that when you set those be here in a year goals, that you figure out what that pace is going to be, that you can sustain to keep your life in balance and healthy. Your health is the biggest priority as long as your family. So you are the one that can determine what that sustainable pace is, and we will work with you on that. So depending on what that is, how much time you do have, how fast you do want to grow, we will set up an onboarding kind of pace and plan accordingly. So, all right. Thank you guys so much.
The wilderness story.
Oh, yes.
The picture.
Okay, we promise. I have it here. Let me share the screen one more time. So while like already, Shannon and I worked wilderness therapy together, and this picture we went ahead and put on our promo flyer for this because it's such a funny picture. It's one that I think I have a couple others of us from back then. But that's me in the middle, and that's Shannon in the yellow sweater, and our friend Juniper with the braids, the blonde braids. Do you want to explain what's happening here, Shanda?
We're actually going through a training to learn how to control or de-escalate or help children who are out of control, who might be hurting somebody else. So we're learning how to control them without hurting them, and Jamie happened to be the guinea pig at the time. So Juniper and I were very excitable, engaged students, and we really wanted to do a great job. And so Jamie is about on her knees there trying to stand up, and we're all giggling and laughing our pants off practically.
I think I got in trouble from Markham. I think it was Markham doing that training, or maybe it was Scott. But I think I got in trouble after that because I was being too precocious. I was being a little too rambunctious. They were like, the kids don't fight like that, Jamie. You need to chill out. So I think I was the one getting myself in that way.
We were all excited to learn, doing our very best.
So covered in dirt. I don't know if you can tell with this picture. And that was one of my favorite. I love this picture because I remember when I live back in Central Oregon now, and I can smell the juniper and the sage, and but I can smell the dirt. Like sometimes I'll take a deep breath in. I'm like, man, this used to coat my throat. Like I just breathed in dirt. Like you would sleep and I would wake up and there'd be like a film of dust because we slept outside or under a shelter. Anyway, oh, the good times. But yes, we promise that we tell you the story of that. And I hope you have the most amazing time. If you have any questions or any remaining lingering things, I want you to reach out to the coach that invited you here, or you can reach out to us. I'm actually going to go ahead and share the, oh shoot, where did I do that with that presentation? I want to make sure you can screenshot one more thing so that you can know how to reach out if maybe you just happened upon this video randomly, or you don't know how to get a hold of the person that invited you to watch this call. You can check in. We have a team email, okay, and you're welcome to reach out there. So go ahead and screenshot that. That'll get you to me, and I can get you to the right person if you are looking for more answers, or you just want to include the person who invited you in a conversation with myself or Shanda. We're happy to do a three-way chat with you too. So thank you again for your time, and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.